find yourself like constantly doing, constantly on the go, constantly producing, constantly in your masculine, this is something that you definitely want to listen up and tune into, right? So that you can start bringing more femininity and balance into your day. All those things, like I'm constantly in my masculine, constantly doing, right? So I have found that in my rising routine, I'm able to really tap into my femininity, and that helps me to have a more balanced day. It helps me feel more balanced, right? Because for a while I was feeling so off because I'm like, I'm just constantly doing. Like, when do I get time to be? Hello, and welcome to Health Coach in a Box. I'm your host coach of my internet, and I'm super excited to have you here. And I'm also grateful because you could be anywhere, okay? But you have showed up and you're spending some time with me. So I do not take that lightly. Okay, so today we are going to talk about how to bring more femininity, right, into your rising routine. So I have another video. If you haven't checked that out, it's about the benefits, okay, of a rising routine or morning routine. I use the two words interchangeably, rising and morning. Like, I prefer rising, but I know some people are like, what are you talking about? So I'll switch it up and say morning too. But in that video, I talk about the benefits of it, right? So you definitely want to check out that video. But in this video, I'm talking about how to introduce more femininity, right, into your rising routine, okay? Because I don't know about you, but as a busy woman, as a homeschool mama, as a full-time coach and a teacher for personal development for teens, like, I have a lot on my plate, y'all, okay? And I spend a lot of time in my masculine energy, because I am in production mode, okay? I am leading people. I am, decision making, all those things. Like, I'm constantly in my masculine, constantly doing, right? So I have found that in my rising routine, I'm able to really tap into my femininity, and that helps me to have a more balanced day. It helps me feel more balanced, right? Because for a while I was feeling so off because I'm like, I'm just constantly doing. Like, when do I get time to be? And I am a person that is like hyper productive, and I sometimes don't know how to turn things off. So that is something that I am constantly working on and constantly getting better at doing. But I am an overachiever. I am highly productive, and sometimes that will cause like a disconnect inside of me internally because I felt like I wasn't tapping into all aspects of me. So I felt off. So here are some routines, some things you can do to really introduce some more of that like soft life, right? People be like, okay, I want that soft life. Well, I don't have a soft life yet, but I do have those soft moments. So how about that? So if you find yourself like constantly doing, constantly on the go, constantly producing, constantly in your masculine, this is something that you definitely want to listen up and tune into, right? So that you can start bringing more femininity and balance into your day. Okay. So number one, okay, one ritual is to connect with your intuition. Okay, as women, right, we have that intuition. Men have it too, but we talking about women right now, so we're gonna focus on us. But yes, we have that intuition, right? Sometimes, like, you just know, it's that inner voice. And I know that when I'm constantly on the go and constantly doing, like, I don't have time to tap into that intuition all the time, right? I don't have that space, right? Because I'm constantly going. So when you have a rising routine that can include, tapping into that intuition, it can really help you tap into your femininity. So some things you can do is to journal, right? To journal, write about your, where you see your life, write about your vision, write about what's on your mind, right? Whatever, right? But journaling can be really helpful to tap into that inner voice, to tap into that intuition, because it's even a great way to coach yourself. So of course, I'm a big advocate on coaching, right? Because coaching really supports you in shifting your thinking. A lot of times, like, we are so connected to our thinking that we don't observe it, we don't question it, right? But when you journal, you're able to really be reflective and think about your thinking and ask yourself, why do you do certain things? Why do you think that way, right? So really important. Also, it gives you time to think. Okay, instead of just doing like, you ever had like any like situations pop up in your life and you're like, man, if I just have time to just think about it, like maybe I could come to a resolution, right? So morning routines, rising routines gives you the time to just think. You don't have to be always doing, my love. Like you don't have to always be doing. You could just think. That is powerful. And a lot of times people don't put emphasis on the power of thinking. Okay. We live in a society where everyone's on autopilot. Everyone's always doing, producing. And people don't think. People don't think. So spend your time like really thinking. That helps you tap into that intuition. It helps you to hear your inner voice, your inner guidance. Okay. You are a divine spirit. There's a divine spirit that lives within you. So when you are able to set time aside to really think and reflect, you're able to listen to that divinity within. Okay, we all have access to it, but oftentimes we're so busy and we have so many things clouding that voice that we can't listen, because most times it's a whisper. It's not some loud voice. It's that quiet whisper, and you got to turn off the devices. You got to turn off the music. You got to turn off the people and the conversations and the TV and everything in order to really listen. Okay, so ritual number one, the group of things you can do is like journaling, right? Take some time to reflect or just think, right? So another ritual that can support you with really tapping into your femininity, okay, is to embrace sensuality. Okay, embrace that sensuality. Yes, we are women. Okay, we are not just doers. Okay, we are sensual beings. Right. And when I talk about get into your sensuality, I mean get into things that tap into that feminine nature, those things that just make you feel free, right? And feel good, right? And some things that I like to do that really support me with that is to dance. Like when I dance and like I'll turn on some, I like Afro beats. So that's my thing. But I'll turn on some Afro beats or maybe like some little R&B, depends on how I'm feeling. But and I move my body and I feel good. Like I feel that feminine energy just flowing through me because we are powerful, okay? And I think in order to tap into a lot about power, we need to embrace our sensuality. Yes, it is not a negative thing. And sensuality doesn't necessarily equate to sexual, right? You could be sensual. You could be in tune with your femininity, with your softness, right? Without being sexual, okay? Like, it's not that deep. But yes, move your body, stretch, dance, tap into that sensuality because it can really set you up for your day, and it can really help with that balance. So you spend your rising, doing something sensual, maybe taking a bath, and then you go and you produce. You get your work done, you in mom mode, you in wife mode, you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're running your business, you're coaching your team, leading your team. Okay, but we have to have that balance, ladies. And another ritual or thing that you can do to really support you in to tapping into your femininity, this is kind of like going off of the second one, but I'm going to expand on it a little bit, is to tap into your pleasure center. Yes, we don't talk enough about pleasure. Yes, tap into your pleasure center. Yes, tap into your senses. Do things that feel pleasing to the senses. So maybe that is dancing, right? Maybe that is moving your hips. Maybe that is, swaying your body, doing some stretching, right? Something that just feels good, right? When's the last time you prioritized your pleasure, my love? When is the last time you prioritized your pleasure? If you're having a hard time prioritizing it, you can do it in the rising. There you go. You get your pleasure in. So whether that is, and it can look different for different people and it can look different on different days, right? So maybe it's you want to do something that's visually stimulating. Maybe you get up early enough to watch the sunrise and you have a cup of coffee or tea in your hand and it just feels good to just watch that sunrise, right? Like watch the power come into your day and you have that warm cup of coffee, going down your throat. It just feels good, right? It feels peaceful, right? That is pleasure. Maybe it's you want to, listen to your favorite songs. Like, you want to hear something, like tap into that pleasure center, listening to your favorite music. And it just makes you feel good, right? You're just being and allowing your senses to explore, right? Or maybe you want to, connect with your partner. Okay. So I'm not going to say everything I want to say because my daughter is homeschooled and she is close by listening. But maybe you want to, spend some time with your partner. And, that is the way you get your pleasure. And okay, ladies, you know what I'm talking about, right? But you can prioritize your pleasure. You do not have to always be on the go. You do not always have to be doing. That is an imbalanced life. And imbalanced lives ultimately lead to dis-ease, okay? And we don't want dis-ease. We want health. Okay, we want health, we want vitality, we want to be abundant, right? And we can't have those things if we feeling all off and we not tapping into all aspects of ourselves. So ladies, tap into your pleasure center. Think about it. When is the last time you have prioritized pleasure, and not for the sake of someone else, for the sake of you feeling good, for the sake of you feeling whole and free and sexy and good, right? So prioritize that. So I really hope like that helped you. Like that gave you some ideas on, rising rituals, morning rituals you can do to really embrace your feminine energy, okay? Because your feminine energy is a superpower. We cannot stay in our masculine all the time because we are going to be off. We are just going to be off. You're going to be all rough and tough. And I don't know about you, but I still like to be soft. But so my life may not be soft right now, right? And I don't know, maybe I don't really want an entirely soft life because I do like producing. I do like to be in production mode. I do like to provide value and do a lot of things, right? But I will say I need that time for soft spaces, soft time, right? It's a part of my mental well-being. So I hope you find that valuable. If you found anything helpful in this video, please share with another woman, okay? Because we can't be getting all the gems and then keeping them to ourselves. So if you have a woman in your life who she is always on the go, she is always doing, maybe she's a busy professional, maybe she's a single mama, maybe she's both, okay? Maybe she just has a lot on her plate and she's always in her masculine, like most of the time. Send this video to her. It could really help her and, help her tap into that feminine energy. And I think the more we tap into our feminine energy, the happier we are as women. So that's all I got for you today. Thank you for spending time with me. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Peace.